Okay everybody, we have the Argo back at my house now, and the first order is going to be to get the motor to run. As long as the motor runs, we can work on the drive line, which the heater method, if you guys follow us on Facebook, my dad actually put a tarp over the Argo and heated it up, and it actually melted most of the ice in the bottom of it. There is about, I think he said 4 to 6 inches of ice completely encasing all these chains. So we got to get the motor running, mind the light, I have my headlamp on, and then at that point we will work on the drive line. Okay, so I'm going to try to do most of the service to this machine while it's up on the trailer, because at that point, as soon as it runs, I'm willing to take it off the trailer. But this was such a pain to get on the trailer the first time, I don't want to have it off because I might not ever get it back on here, being that it's in the garage. The first thing that we've had happen here was it has two bolts that go in, and this one has rusted off. So we're going to make note of that. I'll weld it back on. It won't be a big deal, but we're going to make note of that. This is a Vanguard Briggs & Stratton V-twin motor, 18 horsepower, and it was a very good motor. I checked with my dad, it still has oil. At this point, what I know needs to get done is on the far side, that square box is actually the air intake, and there is debris in there that I need to get out. And then I have to go through the carburetor and some fresh gas for sure. I don't see a ton of gas in the tank sloshing around, but the tank is very dirty on the front, and I need to make sure that there's no old bad gas in here, because that will it probably won't run, to be honest. It's been too many years. That gas will be too stale to be any good. I am keeping this metal rack on for the time being. If I have to remove the motor to do an oil change, the rack's going to obviously have to come off. But I'm going to try to get at it with it all intact inside, because it'll be a lot of work otherwise. So yeah, let's go to the other side and take a peek over there. Briggs & Stratton, some pretty good quality actually. And it's had an air cleaner in it. And I'm just trying to get to the carburetor. There is, looks like something decided to chew away at that. But we got to get this plate off so I can essentially get to the carburetor and everything like that. So this here is the air cleaner. You can see it's been chewed away by mice. I have to imagine it'd be mice. And the air cleaner itself looks very dirty. So that's going to go on the list of things to get. Alright, this is the top plate. This is where the air cleaner would sit in the round part. You can see the debris from who knows what is on there. Alright. So we just got the plate removed. This here sits on like so. And then this hose. So the rubber hose came underneath and went right here as well. So right here is your carb off to the left, which you guys can see. This is the carb, and this has a bunch of junk in it. Which reminds me, let me show you guys this, the intake here. It's hard to see in there, but you can get an idea of just how much stuff falls in there over time. Okay, so this is looking down. This is your carb. This line here is for this butterfly valve, which is actually the choke, and it's cable driven. You can see as I'm just lightly pulling that butterfly, she is not moving. So that's going to be, I think, a common thing on this is, being that stuff has not moved in so long, it's going to be a little bit stuck. You can see it moves, it's just a little seized, if you will. So looks very clean from it up top, but it doesn't take much to gum one of these up, so we want to make sure we clean it out properly. This rubber line for fuel is stiff, and it's actually starting to crack. You can see the crack that has started from it just being old and dry. So we're going to replace this, inspect this other line, which actually goes to the gas, and hopefully it'll fire off. Like I said, I don't think there's a ton of fuel in here to begin with, but we definitely have to go through this carb and get it cleaned out. What I ended up doing with this piece is lightly put the vise on this side and just worked it lightly, and then put some PV Blaster. There's a little hole on either side, and now it's nice and smooth. So I'm going to keep working it a little bit, but I think that it's pretty good. We got to clean out this jet here, and then also the other side of it here. This side here has little holes in it. I'm going to take a little bit of wire from a wire brush, run it through there, and then I'll put some actually brake clean through here to clean out any oil or just deposits within there. And this top piece should be ready to go. I'm going to attempt to show you guys what I see here. Show you guys. So you can see just on that side and this side there's a bunch of dirt, but if you look in there you can see it. Looks like coffee grounds on the bottom. So that's all the stuff. Where the light's shining on the left, that's one of the main jets. You can see it's just a flathead screwdriver. We got to get that out, and we got to get that junk way down in there. I have to get this thing completely out of here. It's never going to run with that much stuff in it, and if it does run, it's going to pick it up and clog up those jets. The front rack, the rear rack, and the winch are all custom built by my dad, along with, a long time ago there was a cab that he built. Doors, windows, had heat, but through all these years, the Argo obviously is a pretty rough ride, being it has no suspension, and this thing has hauled a lot of deer. It's done a lot of grunt work, so it's definitely kind of seen its day. It's ready for a refresh, and I'm gonna get these racks re-welded up, the back ones in even rougher shape. I'll show you guys that. Mind my light, it's pretty dark out. This rack here has been bent due to heavy deer put in here, along with this other side is completely broken off from the same heavy deer. So this is a lot of weight in the back. It's a really nice rack that he built, but you can see it's been used, it's been beat up. This machine is a complete workhorse, and that's why it's important that we get it going again, because it was very useful. Alright everybody, so I have put jumper cables from a battery that I know is good. I just bought it this spring. It's been fully charged within the last couple days, and I have it jumped onto this battery. Now we're going to turn it on. A fan should kick on, and we're going to see if the starter engages. The brushes in the starter might be corroded or whatever, so If it just clicks, I have to try to jump the solenoid. If that just clicks, then we have to troubleshoot it more. But let's just see what happens. Alright, so we're reading pretty good volts on that meter. The solenoid I'm talking about happens to be right there. You can kind of see it tucked underneath there. So I'm going to try to jump that because the solenoid is something that just, it goes out over time with use. They get hot, whatever. So we're going to try to jump that, and if that turns the motor over, that's awesome. And we just need a new solenoid. But there's only one way to find out, and that's to try it. So let me set you guys up on the tripod, and maybe this thing will fire off for the first time in many years. Oh, that's what it was. I'm an idiot. Oh yeah, that's some good noise.